All right, guys, we haven't made a video in a little bit, so decided to make a video of what we've been having going on around here. A lot actually has been going on behind the camera, so that's the reason why I haven't been videoing. It's just really hard for us to make video as we're working. It's just something that we just never really do, so we never carry around a camera with us and do all this heavy work. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around and show you guys just some of the parts and some of the progress happening. Some good updates and news happened today, so let's flip this around and show you guys some parts here. There's my brother Ernest. He's thinking about something, and if you want to go ahead and tell them all what we got going on here. It looks like Christmas and
yeah,
came in early, so
well, we can start by showing, I guess, the engine parts. We got the new water pump for it, painted all the brackets and coils. Then we did the alternator. So all the accessories in the front drive accessories are going to be painted the silver along with the coils, just because I think the two colors match. They go really well with the colors. Since the purple's a little on the dark side, I think the silver complements it, because if not, then you have a black. Usually I do black accessories because we're dealing with lighter colors, but in this case we decided to switch it up. We left the pulleys black, and we're going to leave the front accessories, alternator, power steering pump, all that silver, as long as other little odds and ends like the fuel rails on the intake silver, just because I think if you did it black, you can't see it, and
yeah,
kind of
the silver color really pops it out, so it's gonna give it that nice look to it.
And like all the timing covers here and stuff, all this is old seals and stuff, so that's just painted over. We got the new ones coming.
Yeah, we'll be replacing everything there.
So we just gotta switch them. Clamshells always look super good. I like showing
this
just because I had the old ones I'd show you, but that's what the new ones look. Polyurethane mounts. I mean,
yeah, these are all your motor mount stuff right here. That's what that is.
Mounts. And so what we're gonna do with this one is run drive-by wire stuff instead of running that drive-by old dinosaur technology with drive-by cables.
Yeah, no more cable.
So you got drive-by wire, a lot more tunable, a lot more
user-friendly that way.
User-friendly.
Yep.
Yeah, it works way better than cable stuff. So with all this here, you control it with the modules for the pedal. Use a truck. And this one since we're using a stock ECU PCM with it, we're using just a truck foot pedal accelerator. This one you have to use a module in line with it. Usually I use a C6 Corvette accelerator pedals, but since we're doing it with this one, with the newer computers, they use that. But that's gonna work. Then we have the new engine harness with it. So all this is brand new wiring, and then we're gonna be able to put it where we want, rather than sticking with the factory wirings that come with the F bodies on the Trans Ams. Because this, you can put it where we want, the ECU, and then we kind of integrated retro setup what we want here, which is the drive-by wire, and they usually run the drive-by cables. So this is going to be super nice. And not to mention, the biggest upgrade on it is that we're doing it where you're not running a 20-year-old harness that's all brittle and gonna break. So all that is,
it may, using those old wiring, it may work for a little bit, and then down the line you don't know what's happening, and you start having all these problems. So we just go brand new with everything.
New is best. New is king, as they say that.
It's a cheap insurance. Not really cheap, but it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and then nice module, Holley AC module. So instead of trying to figure out with the stock PCM and stock stuff, you can customize it easier with stuff like this. And let's see what we got. We just got, like, this is just like gaskets. Engine gaskets, and
it's allergy season over here, guys, so Ernest is being hit pretty good with it.
Being sick.
Me being Superman, it don't affect me any, but Ernest has been hit pretty good.
This one's the fuel filter, 100 micron. So that's going to be nice. We're going to run all AN-6 fittings. And that'll bring me to running the PTFE steel braided hose. So this is PTFE. I don't ever use rubber stuff anymore. That's old stuff.
We've had bad experiences with those anyways from the past. So.
That's just the way to go. So we got brand new fuel pump.
By the way, all the alternator, water pump, all those are all brand new.
Yeah, all that is brand new. We just painted it.
Yes.
It is brand new.
Brand new parts.
Fuel pump module with the fuel sending unit and all.
It's the whole assembly. Bless you. It's the whole assembly unit.
Yeah. And brand new stainless steel long tube headers.
These will never rust on you?
Won't rust.
They look good, man. These are gonna look good on the engine.
Yeah. And brand new power steering pump with the reservoir. So this is all comes together like that. These suckers are expensive.
Oh yeah.
But they make it super nice, trouble free. So
yeah,
you won't have any troubles down the line. All this stuff is gonna be new, and you won't have to service this thing pretty much. On top of the mechanics of the engine, we got all the brand new master kit, tie rod ends, bushings, inner tie rods,
suspension parts here.
all the suspension parts, yes. On top of all the engine stuff, you know, sway bar bushings.
Yep,
that are
link bars.
polyurethane. These are stock parts, but I'll show you the polyurethane bushings for suspension. A-arms, upper and lower, ball joints. Well, that's the tie rod end, but it's got ball joints, upper and lower, in that box.
And we'll also make a video as we have them installed, so you can see them on there, not just hear what we're saying is in there.
Gaskets for the timing cover.
Yeah, those are the ones he was talking about that we're replacing. That was on that one over there. There it is.
And, gaskets for it's all basically just engine gasket stuff. All this, which is all new. Oil pan gasket.
Head gaskets.
Head gaskets.
Yep.
GM head gaskets. And this is a master kit. See, I'm not gonna get all that out, but just so you can get an idea. New polyurethane. That's the transmission one. Transmission polyurethane mount.
These are all better than factory stuff right here.
That's what I was gonna say. This is
the factory.
Like this type of stuff is far superior than the factory rubber.
That's right.
Mounts that they give you. So this outbeats it for sure. No brain, no question on that. See, but all this here. Oh man, that's just one box. Here's another box. So this is all a master kit. It's just another one. See the lower A arms, upper A arms, all this stuff here. So even just doing that's gonna be a job, just to switch all that stuff out.
At the ending, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just
the way we
stuff, you know,
the way we say it, around here is you might as well spend a little extra and do it right, and not have to be repeating it again.
Yeah.
So this is where your money goes towards.
Money is stretching tremendously far.
Yes.
For all this stuff that you get.
Well worth the money to invest in those.
AC stuff. So this evaporator, the accumulator.
Yeah, your accumulator.
Not sure where it's all gonna go yet, but I'll figure it out. But it's all new.
Brand new compressor.
So once I actually figure out where we're gonna put the AC box and all, then I can start getting the fittings, and that's also gonna be
where we start routing lines and everything, because we're custom making all the lines.
Stainless braided lines. Oh, that will be new too. Then here I haven't opened it yet, but this is just the rack and pinion.
Brand new rack and pinion came in.
And then we got the heads over here. They're just hanging out there. We just gotta clean them up and put them on the engine once we get, which we're about to do. Start assembling the motor right now here in a bit, and go to town on that. And then we have the
coilovers.
One set, or at least one of the coilovers. See, these are the springs that we're using. I ended up getting 400-pound springs, which are usually I wouldn't go this heavy for this type of car. But since we're trying to do something a little different with it, I want it to not move down when we put the weight on it. So when it hits bumps,
When he says
have a firm ride.
when he says this type of car, he's talking about like on the Trans Am. But since it's a custom build on the Trans Am, it's a custom body. This is why we want to go with this. What we went with.
I went with a shorter coilover that's much shorter, but since we lowered down the shock towers, we're gonna have to modify some tabs in the top, and then actually going shorter is gonna help us, because if it's too short or too low or too high, we're gonna have the availability to adjust the height.
Yes.
Kind of where we want, so we'll have more than enough room to
travel
play with.
Plenty of travel.
Height for whatever reason, whether you're trying to ship the car or drive the car or just park it and just leave it there for show. Whatever works best, you know. So I'm trying to think of all that stuff all
ahead
together,
of time. Yes.
all ahead of time.
You want to show them the strut tower area?
Yeah. Well, let's show them the engine real quick.
Okay.
The engine block's new. Got it back today. Put new rings in it, new cam bearings, added the block, honed the cylinders. We didn't do much to it since it's a stock rebuild, but the engine initially had 15,000 miles or 13,000 miles.
Yes.
So it barely needed anything done to it regardless, but it did get done and refreshed. So it's gonna start from scratch, brand new. So it is brand new bearings, crank, rod bearings, cam bearings.
Yeah, we got it earlier today, and we already put it in the booth and sprayed her, baked it, and I think I honestly, I'll be honest, I stole it from Joker's Ride. This is a Joker's engine right here, so it's a custom mix candy purple here that we got, and this is not something you can just go out and buy. Crazy plum purple, I guess is what we can call it. But yeah.
It should look good once we get it together.
We got Zyra over here, our guard dog. She's a little bit passed out. She don't even know we're here.
Yeah, and then we got over here the shock towers, which I'm ready to put the coilovers on. I haven't really messed with over here too much, but we got all the shock towers how we wanted it. Well, we cut it down 2.5 inches, re-welded it, replated it. All this here is just for cosmetics, aesthetics of it. So I was hoping to have it primed before we made this video, but that's fine. You know, we'll get it done. I'll probably finish it off maybe tomorrow.
You want to let them know what happened with the coilovers? What set us back?
Yeah, coilovers were just a setback, just because I had to figure out what size I needed, and then I had to figure
for the
out
T-bar fittings.
the T-bars, but also just trying to configure a custom thing. I couldn't find one that was set all together, so I had to just piece it together and then try to figure out what was the best way. I was kind of torn between the 350-pound springs or the 400-pound springs or something lighter, but if we have to change it, we can always buy another set and go a little softer. If it's
we both figured out, and we thought 400 pounds when we put our heads together. We figured 400 pounds would probably be where we want to be with it.
Yeah, and like I said, that's actually too heavy of a spring for this car because they're lighter, but you got to start somewhere, and this is obviously not a stock build, so we needed to do something particular. When you're mostly the the more high-end exotic cars have stiff suspension anyways, and just being that they that's how you get your handling characteristics out of it. But in this case, we're just wanting where you're driving and you're not hitting a bump and it's like bouncing 2 inches, 3 inches from where it's sitting, and hitting everything. So it should be fine. It's gonna drive good, I know. And I think that's about it for right now, other than just engine stuff. A lot of part stuff came in. I'm gonna start assembling the engine. I'll probably have an update here tomorrow, the next day. Probably have it together.
Yeah, we want to try to have the engine put together as far as
I'm trying to get this
assembling parts.
I don't know if I'll have a chance to mess with this tomorrow, but I want to get the engine stuff out of the way, get parts out of the way, and then move on to the transmission. We also got the transmission that we're gonna do, new torque converter, and then painting all the transmission. That'll get all that out of the way, so it's just gonna sit there and wait for us. So
yeah, so the body work is being done. It's been welded already. We're body working this here, clean up all the welds. We're gonna go with a heavy primer as well, so that way we can have it looking good. But all this got already welded closed, all those cuts that were open, factory glues here, It'll clean up once we get through with everything,
Yeah.
but it's really starting to come together pretty nicely, actually.
Yeah, right now it's a lot of big mechanics stuff that has to be finished off. So getting all the A-arms, we got to take all that off, get it cleaned up. The K-member, get it off, clean it up, and get off some of the fuel lines and the brake lines that run through the chassis, because I'm not going to use none of that mess. We're running our own stuff. So, and then once we put the front end together, we'll weld the coilovers, put it back on the ground, see where it sits, and see how we like it. Then we'll actually stretch it or cut it, and then we'll do the stretch and take it from there. So I think it'll start moving after we do this next steps.
Yep. Hi, Toby. You want to say hello?
Hi.
Where's the check
Subway's
at?
here.
It's in the office.
Subway's here.
So that's pretty much the update I wanted to get for us today. Man, it's gonna start flying from here now that we got the coilovers. That set us back a little bit, Alan, because I'll show you what it was. Was these T-bar fittings right here were not included with the kit, and we wanted to try to leave it original for the bottom, and then we're gonna just modify the top side here. So this is hopefully gonna mount up like the stock area, and I'll keep the update going, man. But we should have some more probably updates maybe tomorrow, so we'll keep you guys a little more updated. All right, see ya.
Bye, see ya.